Let's turn this 2D illustration into a 3D illustration. This is an illustration I made for a friend of mine's radio show on Dublab. He's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and you should definitely check out his Dublab show. It's called Open Heart Social Club. I'll leave the link in the description. I've been wanting to see how it looks like in 3D since pretty much the first time I made it, so here we go. So with this hand, instead of starting with box modeling, I wanted to start with freehanding the general shape first. I feel like with box modeling, it can sometimes be really annoying to get the right shape and volume and proportions, so I just used the Z-spheres to super quickly get the overall shape. Honestly, it was even easier than I expected. After some adjusting, I skinned the spheres and sculpted it further. I could have just retopologized everything by hand from here on out, but I don't know, I just feel like you can get really close using the Z remesher. So after fiddling around with the Z remesher guides, poly groups, and trying over and over, I got really close to a really nice topology. When it was close enough, I moved to Cinema, and really all I needed to do was to remove that top part that connects to the fingers, then duplicated the index finger and used it instead of the other fingers, and attached them back together. Then all there was left was to make sure that I have the same amount of polygons around the base of all the fingers as there are around the top edge of the palm. I think I just needed to remove one edge loop from the fingers. Then I just merged the objects together and bridged the two edge loops, added one more loop to pinch the base in and slim down the thumb, and then just sent it to ZBrush and polished the topology and added some fine details which barely matter honestly. Then I sent it back to Cinema to rig it, but I felt like the fingers were a little too short, so I stretched them out a bit and smoothed them out in ZBrush. Then it was time for rigging. I could have just sculpted the hand in the position that I wanted, but I don't know, I felt like I wanted to have it rigged in case I wanted to animate it. I'll also add this model to the rigged hand pack on my Gumroad if you want it. The rigging was about the same as in my hand rigging tutorial, except this time I used an IK rig as well. Honestly, this part is kind of boring. If you want me to do a more thorough tutorial on how to do this, let me know. Then I used the Z-spheres to quickly model the heart shape, skinned it, remeshed it, cut it in half, and gave each half some thickness. Then I just sculpted the subtle details of the eye sockets and the mouth, but honestly this came out just not good, so I redid them later. This hat was the first version, it came out really bad, so you'll see me later on making a new hat. Honestly, half of the reason I bother with decent topology is for decent UV unwrapping. I mean, obviously, if you want to deform and animate your model, you want nice topology, but even if you don't, UV unwrapping a horrible topology is just like the worst nightmare. I hate it. So yeah, this is the second attempt at getting the face details right. There are so few of them and they're so subtle that the smallest mistakes really pop out. So I felt like I had to redo them. I also ended up remeshing the face so the topology follows around the eye socket and around the mouth, because at this point the topology is a disaster. You can really tell at lower poly how jaggedy it is around the lips. At the moment I was like, I don't know, dissatisfied with the face detail, and it's funny because there's barely anything there, but I don't know. I think maybe that was the problem. I had so little to work with. Man, making characters is so fucking hard. People who are professional character designers and makers are on a whole nother level. I can only hope to someday be a fraction as good as some of the good ones out there. But you know, that's why we have to keep pushing and making more and more and more shit. Okay, so once I felt good enough about everything, I jumped to Substance Painter and did some painting. I didn't want to have a lot of texture, honestly. I wanted it to feel smooth and stylized and not too realistic, so it was mostly just painting the color details. A lot of the solid colors I just ended up making in Octane, and I also ended up adding a very subtle roughness imperfection layer in Octane as well. Just a simple noise on the roughness channel. All the little faces and pupils and those kind of extra details, I gave them a very subtle height information as well, so they kind of rise above the surface just a tiny bit. And that's it. Once I was all done with that, I put it all together in Cinema, added all the subtle roughness imperfections. I just had to light it up nicely. I wanted it to feel generally very high-key and bright and soft, but with a slight cinematic edge to it, almost like a product photography that feels very in our world, even though the character is so stylized. I also tested how it would feel with subsurface scattering, and it obviously looked good, but I don't know, it felt too tangible and too realistic and almost just kind of disturbing. So I decided to drop it, but it did add a subtle large gradient across the whole face. And after some more fiddling, this is the final result. I'm pretty happy with it looking at it now, but goddamn, if I have to be brutally honest, I had a few moments during this where I just doubted literally everything. Not to sound harsh, and I'm kind of overplaying it now that it's over, but there were moments where I felt so disappointed with the results and with the process that I actually decided to throw this project away and start a new one. But you know, I slept on it, woke up the next day, and I looked at it with a fresh set of eyes and kind of figured, it's not that bad, just fix up the issues and get over yourself. And that's what I did, and it's looking cool, and I have still so much to practice. It's fucking scary, but almost motivating, I guess. So, you know, if you're out there struggling to get better, just know we all fucking do. That's it. Go check out the Gumroad stores for some cool stuff, or consider supporting on Patreon or membership, because we know I couldn't have been doing this without all these cool cats you see on the screen right now. I love you. Have a great day. Peace.